What was initially so intriguing for you about this project?
How bad the title was. Because it wasn't called The Heat when I got the script. It was called Untitled Female Buddy Cop Movie.
Oh.
And I went, anyone who has the balls to hand you that, it must be read. So I read it, and halfway through I was sort of imagining how to tweak it and how to play it. And at that point, when you're starting to imagine how to adjust, you know you're sort of in. So it was one of those things I'd hoped for, sort of the guys' comedy. I didn't think that we would get it, and there it was.
Yeah, that's an interesting aspect of it, right? We're talking about this being the first female buddy cop movie. Why do we have to talk about that in 2013?
Well, there's so many things that we're still talking about in 2013 that you'd hoped had gone away with the turn of the century.
Right.
But not this one, but the one before. I don't know. Money. It really comes down to money. It's business. And it even when we made this film, they said, well, it's rated R and there's 2 female leads, so it's going to have, the budget's not going to be big, and you have 45 days to shoot it. And Melissa and I both went, I don't know when we'll ever get this opportunity again, so we got to do it now. So there were, the parameters were set, the boundaries were set. We knew our, what our limitations were financially, and you just had to hope. You had to make it because you didn't know if it would ever be made again. Yeah,
but you, as a businesswoman, let's say, you don't believe in that saying that a female body movie can't work, right?
No, well, we knew it would work. We knew, we knew once we started improvising together and started rehearsing, we went, oh, this is going to be fun to do together. We knew how to make it. But even though we as actors know how to make it, doesn't necessarily mean the story will come together, all the elements will come together, and it turns out to be a good movie. As you know, you don't set out to make a bad movie, but sometimes they just don't work. But the studio, I mean, of course, it's never been done before, so that's scary. Financially, to invest all that money, and in their books, it was a small film, but that's still a lot of money to make a movie that has never been tried before.
But I just hear sexism in my head now.
Of course it's sexism. But in the end, it's moneyism.
Right.
It's just, where is the money coming from? If women start making money, oh my gosh, are you kidding? We're going to be the greatest things ever. But it's just about money. It's about what the audience will go see.
Yeah.
And if the audience wants to see 2 women, being buddies in a cop and making people laugh, and it doesn't matter that they're women. It could be 2 guys. This film, it's not that it's a chick flick, because it's not. So I think if the audience wants it, then all of a sudden we'll be regarded in a different way.
Yes.
Please.
Yes, I want to see lots of sequels. Was it as hilarious to make as it is to watch?
No, never is. I mean, we were laughing a lot while we were shooting, just because the absurdity of something, it's like being in the library as a high school kid. You can't help but laugh. We didn't have a lot of time, so it was that pressure to sort of figure something out on the spot and just film it. But Melissa and I would find ourselves losing our marbles every once, but it was usually because of exhaustion. You go on 15-hour days, and she was traveling back and forth, and yeah, we were just dead tired, and you just start to laugh, and you waste so much time doing it, and the director was just like, stop it.
How awesome is she, right?
She's
I mean,
fantastic.
we knew this, but were you even maybe a little bit intimidated, although you're Sandra Bullock?
Why would I intimidate by what?
So much comic talent, and
No, I mean, because we all love our comedy. We all have different styles of comedy. So every single person in the film had a style. I'm just happy that ours worked. Ours complemented each other really well.
Okay, I tweeted about you 2 in this movie that you're comic goddesses. So,
that was nice.
So what happens when 2 deities like that meet for the first time? Do the
Deities.
heavens open up and angels start singing?
Absolutely, yes.
Of course.
I mean, when we walk on the streets now, it is something to behold. It is as though we've entered the gates of heaven. People drop to their knees. There's an audible gasp. There are tears. A lot of trying to kiss our feet, which is always awkward.
Especially when
it's a little uncomfortable. We just want to go to lunch, and here we are, blessing people, saying thank you, my child. It's just a whole new role that I never expected to have to take on. But Melissa owns it pretty well. She could be the Pope.
Okay.
She could be the Pope.
You're ironic about this now, but are you aware of how funny you actually are? Have you always been aware of that when you were a kid?
I knew that comedy was a good deflector. I knew it also because my mother was German and had absolutely no sense of humor.
Das ist wahr, wir können Deutsch reden, nicht?
Wir können, aber das machen wir nicht.
Warum nicht?
Because we're doing this in American. It's easy for me to talk about film more eloquently than it is to do it in German.
Aber die dritte Sprache in Belgien ist Deutsch. Das ist also.
We're doing it in English.
Okay, Sandra Bullock.
But my mother had I don't think she had a sense of humor, but what she loved was physical comedy. Right. So if I would fall over something or hit a wall, I went, this is interesting. So I knew that at a very young age I could make her laugh by doing things that were physical. But I loved, my dad is not a jokester, but he's a funny storyteller. So humor is a good deflector. It allows you to make friends more easily, no matter what language you're sort of stepping into. So I learned at a pretty young age. I love sarcasm. It just doesn't always translate.
So the Oscar was it was a coincidence for dramatic work.
Oh, drama is a lot easier to do than comedy. You know, but it's again, I think drama needs comedy, comedy needs drama.